First tonight at 9, we are tracking some of the biggest races as votes continue to be counted here in Arizona.
We start with the most recent House race that was called in Arizona. The U.S. House District 5 race just called for Republican Andy Biggs. He will continue representing the Southeast Valley after defeating Democrat Katrina Schaffner.
Abe Hamadeh defeated Gregory Whitten in U.S. House District 8. That's in the Northwest Valley. That's a call being made by the decision desk in just the last few hours. And in the Maricopa-County Sheriff's race, Democrat Tyler Camp, former Phoenix police officer, detective, commander, he has conceded to Republican Jerry Sheridan. Sheridan, who was Joe Arpaio's right-hand man for several years, 35 years in the sheriff's office. He leads now by 90,000 votes. And in the race for U.S. Senate in Arizona, that race is tightening.
Yeah, Congressman Ruben Gallego currently leads Kari Lake by just about 59,000 votes. And in the U.S. House District 1 race, Republican Congressman David Schweikert, longtime incumbent there, is leading Democratic challenger Amish Shah by about 8,000 votes tonight. An estimated 67% of the vote has been counted.
Now, that was one of the districts that Democrats hope to flip. Those hopes may be fading tonight, but it's still close. And in District 4, Democratic Congressman Greg Stanton, former Phoenix mayor, leads Republican Kelly Cooper in a rematch of the 22 race. He leads by about 19,000 votes. That should be a comfortable margin.
In District 2, Republican Congressman Eli Crane is leading Democrat Jonathan Nez there by about 18,000 votes.
Now, we're expecting our next big data drop sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, and you can see all those details as soon as they're released on air and on fox10phoenix.com. As more data comes in, it's not just these U.S. House races that we're keeping an eye on. The balance of power at the State House is still up for grabs tonight.
And that's a big deal for Arizonans, since the decisions made at the state level often impacts people more than congressional changes. Fox 10's Nicole Krasean joins us now with some analysis of the policies we could see take center stage in the next session here in Phoenix.
Well, good evening, John and Christina. We've already been talking about the latest results, and if anything, they show us just how important every single vote is in a state like Arizona. We're seeing in some of these state house races just hundreds of votes separating these candidates, and that pendulum could swing in any direction when we get that next data drop between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. And let's keep in mind that these chambers are already just separated by 2 politicians. That's the balance difference, and so that pendulum swing could really shift some policies in the Grand Canyon state.
The balance of power in the Arizona legislature still not crystal clear a day after polls closed. History favors the GOP.
The Republicans have only not had the majority in the state Senate just twice, really in about 2 generations, 3 generations even. So we are long used to Republican rule in the legislature. The Democrats haven't controlled the House since the 60s.
Under a Republican majority, political analyst Barrett Marson expects the border to be a top priority, aided by a Trump presidency.
Given that the voters just approved Prop 314, which helps to clamp down on border crossers, I think the legislature will continue, if it's in Republican hands, to focus on immigration.
Another topic fueling GOP legislators may be fuel itself.
Gas prices are lower now, but the Republican legislature was hoping to get some exemptions from the EPA on our summer blend. I suspect in a Donald Trump administration, that request might actually be heard.
If the Democrats flip the state legislature, Marson says they would still not have the numbers to churn out new economic law.
They wouldn't be able to do much on tax policy because you do need a supermajority to raise taxes, but certainly they would look at more funding for some of their priorities like climate change and the social safety net.
As for the Empowerment Scholarship Accounts, or ESAs, in Arizona schools, turning the State House blue would bring that issue front and center.
If Democrats do gain control of one or both houses of the legislature, one of their first priorities will certainly be some regulations on ESAs.
And Marston says that the most likely outcome is going to be a near split legislature again. Of course, that's going to come with gridlock, but it also promises some bipartisan work because that's the only way to get a productive legislation session underway. So we are going to continue to follow these results for all these races. Another drop expected in Maricopa County between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. And we are hearing from the AP now that there could be more than 1 million votes still left to be counted across the state of Arizona. So a lot of this still up for grabs as we head into Thursday as well. Reporting live in front of the Arizona State House, Nicole Krasean, Fox 10 News.